hung heavy, thick with the scent of pine and damp earth. It was a night like any other in Navajo County, Arizona, except it wasn't. That night, the silence felt different. A deeper, more unsettling quiet than the usual nocturnal hush of the desert. I remember the prickling sensation on my skin, a premonition of something unseen, something wrong. We were deep in the reservation, miles from the nearest town, on a research trip for my documentary on unexplained phenomena. My team, consisting of my cameraman, Mark, and seasoned paranormal investigator, Dr. Eris Thorne, were already setting up equipment near an old, abandoned homestead. The wind whispered through the skeletal branches of the juniper trees, carrying with it a low, guttural moan that sent shivers down my spine. What would you do if you were there, surrounded by this unnerving atmosphere? We'd been investigating reports of strange occurrences in the area for weeks, unexplained lights, livestock mutilations, terrifying sounds echoing through the canyons. Locals spoke of skinwalkers, shape-shifting creatures from Navajo legend, entities of immense power and malevolence. Initially, I was skeptical, but the sheer volume of consistent, corroborated accounts began to chip away at my scientific reserve. We'd already documented several strange anomalies: erratic electromagnetic readings, inexplicable temperature fluctuations, and unsettling shadows flitting across our night vision cameras. But nothing could have prepared us for what happened next. The first sign was subtle, a flickering in the periphery of my vision. Then, a low growl, deep and resonant, seemingly emanating from the earth itself. It wasn't a sound you could pinpoint. It was everywhere and nowhere at once, a vibration that resonated in your bones. The hairs on the back of my neck stood on end. Mark, usually unflappable, swore he saw something moving in the darkness, a fleeting shadow too large and too fast to be any animal I recognized. Do these sounds seem familiar? Have you ever experienced a similar sense of dread? A feeling of being watched by something unseen? Dr. Thorne, a man who'd faced countless paranormal investigations, was visibly shaken. His usually calm demeanor was replaced by a palpable unease. He muttered something about the air feeling wrong, a tangible weight pressing down on us. The wind picked up, whipping around us with ferocious intensity, carrying with it the scent of decay. And something else, something acrid and indescribably alien. The temperature plummeted, a sudden, sharp drop that left us shivering despite our thick jackets. It felt as though an icy hand had reached out from the darkness and grasped our very souls. Then it appeared, a figure impossibly tall and gaunt, silhouetted against the moonlit sky. It moved with an unnatural grace, a fluidity that defied the laws of physics. Its form was indistinct, shifting and changing before our eyes, a grotesque mockery of a human shape. I could make out what seemed to be elongated limbs, ending in what looked like clawed hands. The creature's eyes burned with an unnatural light, piercing the darkness with an intensity that chilled us to the core. My breath caught in my throat. I tried to speak, to call out to Mark or Dr. Thorne, but no sound escaped my lips. My mind screamed in terror, overwhelmed by the sheer malevolence radiating from this being. Mark's camera, usually so steady, shook violently. The night vision footage captured only a blur of movement, a fleeting glimpse of something monstrous. Later, when we reviewed the footage, we noticed something else, a series of strange, almost subliminal images flashing across the screen, fleeting glimpses of landscapes that didn't exist, faces twisted in silent screams. It was as if the creature itself was trying to invade our minds, to corrupt our very perceptions of reality. We learned something about this house's past that made the encounter even more terrifying. It was the site of a brutal massacre decades ago, a dark stain on the land. The creature remained in sight for what felt like an eternity, yet probably lasted only a few minutes. It seemed to toy with us, its movements deliberate, almost mocking. Then, as suddenly as it appeared, it vanished. The silence that followed was even more terrifying than the creature's presence. The wind died down, the temperature slowly returned to normal, and the oppressive weight lifted from our shoulders. But the memory of its eyes, the chilling malevolence, remained etched into our minds. In the aftermath, we were left with a profound sense of violation, a feeling of having witnessed something beyond human comprehension. The experience irrevocably altered our perspectives. We left the homestead, our equipment abandoned, our minds reeling from the encounter. We never returned to that location, and I haven't slept soundly since. The chilling memory still haunts me. A constant reminder of the night I confronted the darkness of the Navajo reservation and came face to face with something truly terrifying. The details remain vivid. The cold, musty scent of the earth, the distant, echoing whisper, the sudden cold draft passing through the wall. It was more than just a frightening experience. It was a profound, life-altering confrontation with the unknown. The psychological impact lingered long after the physical threat subsided. The nightmares began almost immediately. Each night, I relived the encounter, the creature's eyes burning into my soul. The vivid sensory details, the smell of decay, the feel of the icy wind, the sound of the guttural growl, haunted my waking hours as well. I found myself constantly looking over my shoulder, expecting to see that monstrous form appear in the shadows. My colleagues, Mark and Dr. Thorne, suffered similar trauma, their experiences shaping their lives in ways we are still grappling with. The scientific community dismissed our findings, labeling our account as folklore, hallucination, or outright fabrication. But we know the truth. We know what we saw, what we felt, and the knowledge is a heavy burden to bear. The experience forced me to confront my own skepticism, to acknowledge the existence of realities beyond the scope of scientific explanation. It also ignited a deep-seated fear, a fear not of the creature itself, but of the vast, unknowable darkness that lurks just beyond the veil of our perception. This experience redefined my understanding of the world. The line between reality and the supernatural blurred, replaced by a terrifying uncertainty. The world I once knew felt different, tainted by the knowledge of something truly monstrous, something that exists in the shadows, waiting to be unleashed. The memories are etched in my mind, a constant reminder of the night that changed everything. The Navajo legends, once dismissed as myths, now hold a chilling new significance. They whisper of a world beyond our comprehension, a world of shapeshifters and shadows, a world where the line between reality and nightmare is frighteningly thin. The fear remains, a constant companion, a chilling testament to the night I encountered the Skinwalker. And what about you? What would you do if you were faced with such a terrifying experience? What if the stories you hear are not just stories? What if they are warnings